I'm not very happy. Who stole our Christmas decorations? Just
pure disappointment here. Pure disappointment.
Just like the one thing we had going for this channel, the one thing that was keeping us alive, and it gets taken away from us.
Very special moment. Christmas has come and gone. We're in the new year.
We have visits from Santa. The New Year's come. New Year's resolutions and stuff are out the window now. And there's no Christmas decorations. What the hell is going on here with the British Fist? We don't know. But we'll tell you one thing that is going to be going on in this Wednesday topical video. We're going to be talking about none other than the return of Chris Jericho, and we're going to be casting our eye on it after the Raw review. We are the British Fist, of course, doing this Wednesday topical video, Kaching for the win. I am Mr. Parkin, and this guy sitting next to me is the one and only Right Honourable. He should be an OBE, MBE, knighthood, whatever you want to do, better than Michael Cole. It's NJ.
What's up?
And he appears in shot doing his What's Up gimmick, which has been going for a whole year nearly now. Right, so make sure you guys subscribe up above, like this video, comment your thoughts on Chris Jericho's return down below. Maybe you thought it was a success, maybe you thought it was a bit of a fail. Just let us know your thoughts on it and why you thought it was a success or fail. We're going to talk more into this video.
You got those in the link description below.
I didn't get a word you just said there, NJ.
Guys, make sure you contact us. In the links in the box below.
I think you need to speak a little bit louder.
Guys, make sure you contact us in the link in the box below.
Should we get to the point? Because we're dragging on a little bit here. So, as we all know, Chris Jericho returned on Raw.
Did he?
He came out. He came out. He took the crowd. He worked the crowd, and then walked out. And a lot of us were a little bit disappointed by this, and I feel this is because it wasn't really what we expected. When we went into Raw, we was expecting Jericho to return, do the usual, cut a promo why he's here, and I think because that didn't happen, because we got something else, it may have been initially why ours was one of negativity at the British Fist when we watched Raw. Do you want to expand on that and just say why you didn't like this return, why you think it didn't achieve what it was supposed to achieve?
The promos building up to his return, awesome. Nicely done, a lot of work went into them. Raw hyped up for his return. I was thinking, great, people are going to be interested in this Raw. And when he came down to the ring, yes, everyone was celebrating, happy. But to be honest, when it comes to a character like Jericho, he needs to be on mic. He can cut great promos. He's great on mic. He could have hyped up the Rumble, which was coming up, making that he was going to be in it. I don't know. It just lacked what it needed to have.
I know how you feel. And the thing is, it's because we didn't really get what we were expecting to get in the fact that we wanted to see Jericho talk on the mic, explain why he was there. There are reasons why I believe that they didn't go down that route. Now, at the time, I really didn't think about this, but in hindsight and looking at what people have been saying on YouTube and Facebook, there's been a lot of different opinions on this. Some people thought it was lame because they thought it was stupid and a waste of time. I can see why people felt that. Like you said, it was built up quite a lot, and we did expect a lot out of this, and we expected the impact to be big. And the impact itself was quite big in the fact that fans were chanting, you know, Y2J. The return initially was very good. We were pretty pumped up for it. And when he just ran around the ring doing nothing, to us it was just a little bit like we didn't get what we wanted. But on the other hand, I've got to say this. If WWE were going for that, they sure did kind of annoy us a little bit, didn't they? If they were going for that kind of disappointment, you got Jericho but you didn't, kind of. And this is where people are starting to come in saying that it's a work of genius. And, you know, what do you think about that?
Well, being the first Raw of the year, you do expect big and better things to happen. And I'm thinking, I don't know, they've really downgraded Jericho a bit. Again, yes, maybe people might be thinking, oh, this is a start of a heel thing coming up. But I just think it lacked what it needed to have.
Well, he was heel, if I'm not mistaken, he was heel when he went out and when Randy Orton punted him. So he never really turned face. I think WWE kind of knew, and I'm just doing this because I'm trying to look at both sides here. I think WWE may have knew he was going to get a great reaction. Because let's face it, at the moment, the product is not exactly at its peak. And to people to see Jericho come back, they were always going to cheer for him, whether he was heel or face. And WWE needed some way to keep him, because they obviously want him to go heel, because that's his best work. And they obviously wanted to get away, despite it not having much impact and really disappointing people like us who wanted something big out of it. Maybe that's what they're trying to go for. I'm just trying to put that out there and get this discussion going here.
Well, with Jericho, he's a long-term wrestler, so people are obviously got behind him now, got to love him and that. So I think with him coming back, his return was going to be big anyway.
Yes, it was.
So I'm thinking, yes, it was big and that, but I'm just thinking, maybe the WWE do have ideas for him to build his character before Royal Rumble, but again, people could debate if it was did they miss an opportunity on Raw or they done it correctly.
I think a lot of people, the debate here is the promo itself left us very befuddled. It left us very, what the fuck? And a lot of people interpreted that as bad, and that's understandable because when you think what the fuck, you think to yourself, geez, what am I supposed to make of this? Other people took that what the fuck thing as being a kind of a good way of manipulating the fans, and we know Jericho, especially on Twitter, is very good at manipulating the fans, whether it's Hogan style going after the crowd or on Twitter or being that heel character we know he is. And we know that WWE are trying to keep kayfabe at a low by actually having him, really bring out this character on Twitter, for example.
Yeah, because on Twitter there's the whole he's not ready to come back and that. So it left us thinking, is he actually going to do it? But I think when it came to it, the WWE need Jericho back and in full swing.
Yeah, it was no surprise. We knew it would be Jericho, didn't we? The original plan, of course, by WWE was to bring Jericho back, and they brought Jericho back. And it wasn't really a surprise. And I just want to further us onto these vignettes. Now, in the vignettes, we got a lot of vignettes building up to this, as we said. There was a theme. I think one of the themes of it was the fact that a female was going to speak on behalf of Jericho. And just looking back at it now, as much as I'm disappointed that Jericho didn't say anything, I'm starting to think that there might be some meaning behind maybe the female, whether it be a Stephanie McMahon or something like that, behind the female regarding Chris Jericho's character, because there has to be something there, because these cryptic promos are telling us that.
Yeah, I think that obviously there's a lot of story in the video package of his return. I'm thinking, yes, it may come up in the next few weeks leading up to the Rumble. Maybe it will, but all we can say is that there is going to be a lot more to it. So there's going to be a lot more to look forward to when it comes to Jericho. And
when Jericho finished his promo, let's not forget, he was getting booed. Because essentially what he did was build up this great moment that we wanted to see and basically spat in our faces, essentially. And whether or not that's what WWE were going for, or whether it's put badly, I believe it just depends on personal preference. Some people have said that they found it a good, really ingenious. Maybe they see it in different ways. Maybe they see it in more of a long-term light, whereas us maybe saw it a little bit more as a disappointment because of all the build and stuff. But essentially, you wonder why WWE had done it this way. And might as well get this out there now. It was a rather unique way of bringing Jericho back. It wasn't, like you said, it kind of disappointed us, but we've never seen a return like this before. And some people have said, it's got us wanting to know what the fuck he's going to be doing because he didn't say anything. So what a great way for WWE to make us want to tune in next week. Even though it may have put the promo itself may have put some people off wanting to tune in next week because they were thinking, what the fuck?
And the other big thing about it, yes, he teased us because he held the mic at some point, so he did tease us that he was going to say something.
Come on, baby!
But then he brought up all that. But the other thing is the length of it.
Oh, yes.
Again, yes, it was big, so it was Jericho's return. He needed a segment on his own. But the length of it, again, maybe have been too much for what Jericho was doing.
Yeah, what he did is essentially run around the ring for 10 or so minutes. And after a while, it just was a bit... It just left us with a sour taste in our mouth. And like I said, I keep going back to this, but maybe that's what they were going for. I don't know. I'm just trying to put this into perspective.
But when it comes to rating on the first Raw, you do want to aim as high as you can to get 2012 with a big kick start.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I'm not really sure I haven't checked the ratings.
No, they're not.
This segment, I'm not really sure how it's going to do.
Well, we'll see what happens when the ratings come out. But either way, people were kind of befuddled as to this whole what Jericho was doing. Was he catering to the fans? He played the fans perfectly, didn't he? We heard, even though the crowd wasn't the best, he still got a very good reaction. He still controlled the crowd with his actions. Didn't say anything, like I said. I just think the biggest disappointment for me was the fact he didn't say anything. It was just, you get so used to these conventional returns that you just think to yourself, this is how it's got to go down. If WWE wanted a guaranteed good segment, they would have had him come back and talk. And the one thing that annoyed me was the fact that you had a WWE title match and a Jericho return, and it still wasn't the fucking main event. I really couldn't believe it.
That was really appalling for Raw because obviously the layout of the Raw weren't the best anyway.
No.
But when it comes to the final 3 important segments, again, I think they put a boring 6-man tag that, yes, had all the right feuds, but Jericho's return was meant to be the draw of the show as well as the title match.
Now, just spin on that a second. I've heard a lot of people say that the reason why that was the main event was because of the whole thing in the ring. And from a practical standpoint, that is understandable. But if you drew a lot of fans in using this whole 1, 2, 11, 12 thing, whatever it was, these Jericho returns. You may have drew a lot of old fans in, I know Mr. Rout made this point. You may have drew a lot of casual fans in, old fans in, thinking, oh, we get to see Jericho again. And the question is, do these people get it? Because I don't think a lot of people will get it, apart from us out there that know a lot about the business and know a lot about Jericho's character. And essentially, the question is, will people want to watch next week? Will people be into this Jericho? Will people think to themselves, I want to know what Jericho's going to say? Or will they think to themselves, well, this promo sucked, I'm not going to watch next week? That's the dividing line for WWE, because they could have just had a normal segment and probably achieved a lot of things in the short term, but they instead went for that. It was a little bit surprising to me, but it could work out in the long run. I'm not questioning that.
The way I see it, people tune in the Raw to see the return of a particular wrestler, which was Jericho, a fan favourite, and I think it would have achieved more if he spoke and got his point out there and then. But if they're going to drag it across, I'm not sure if people are going to want to tune in, but obviously only time will tell.
I've got to give WWE this though. It is, if this is Jericho, this is, like I said, it was a very unique return. Just at the time, it was just that we were expecting something very conventional because that is what we're very used to getting from returns. And that is what we went into the program expecting. And I don't know. It's very hard to really come on one side now, because I initially was incredibly disappointed. I've seen all the arguments and I'm still a little bit disappointed, but I can still see what they might have been going for. Do you know what I mean? It's just that I'm not sure a majority of the fans, if that is the case, would get it. Do you know what I mean? Although I still think that him not saying anything, we did want him to say something, but we don't know the results yet, do we? That's the problem at the moment. We can judge it as much as we like, but we don't know where this is leading. I think that's the issue at the moment. We don't really know where this is leading. We kind of wanted to know, but we don't.
But the thing is, we always say this in our reviews, we do like long-term planning, and hopefully this Jericho thing is going to last, because there's been rumours about a WrestleMania storyline. Yeah. This maybe be a good dragged-on storyline. So if they are taking it step by step, thumbs up, but we'll have to see. A
lot of people have been saying that Jericho did this to troll the internet fans. What do you think of that? Trolling the internet fans, really? The 10%ers, as Eric Bischoff would so put it?
I think it was there, because obviously it's the fans there, and it was the fans, obviously, who are going to be tuning in, that they were mainly concentrating on the internet.
I know Wrestling Genius, as a YouTuber out there, made a video, and I did watch it, and he was very disappointed in what he saw with Jericho. And I can see where he's coming from. Do you know what I mean? We felt the same way. He was there live, so he actually paid money to go see it. And I can see why people are disappointed live. And we were disappointed watching it on TV too. I know I keep going back to this, but do you think this is what WWE were going for? I'm just trying to analyse it from different standpoints here, rather than just an immediate short-term standpoint.
Well, like I said, I think maybe they're going to make this a dragged-on storyline to get people going. But when it comes to what WWE need, which is ratings, maybe they've slipped up with this rule.
What if he came next week and did the exact same thing? What would you think then?
Appalling. Because I think, to be honest, keeping this whole silent character, that's what we thought about Kane. But this is a whole Jericho storyline. Jericho's great on mic. They should be using that to their advantage.
Do you feel also that with Ziggler in a feud going into the Royal Rumble, that maybe WWE are trying to hold off, because we know that he's probably going to feud with Punk. Eventually, it's probably going to. That's what it's going to lead to. He's going to feud with Punk. But do you think now that they've got a Ziggler Punk feud going into Royal Rumble, they're maybe trying to hold it off until after Royal Rumble? I don't know. The thing is, I really want Jericho to come back and just be Jericho and cut a heel promo and tell us why he's back, and tell us that he's getting his best in the world back, and all that kind of stuff. And I really do hope we get that in the coming weeks. Time will tell, but initially disappointed, but can still see the future benefits. And I still believe that if you guys are commenting out there, it just depends on personal preference. Some people thought it was a work of genius because he was, spitting back in our faces and being a heel again, and that was the only way they were really going to achieve that. But other people like us were really disappointed by what we didn't get, and that is translated differently when you're, doing reviews like we do.
That's true. And with the Rumble coming up, we do expect Jericho to go on mic sometimes, so hopefully this quiet character won't last too long.
Hey, you never know, he might even be in the Royal Rumble.
Well, obviously he needs to probably announce or hype it in some way, I'm hoping.
He may even win it, who knows?
It would be.
He is the best in the world, however. This, like I said, this is obviously leading to a feud with Punk. We do want to see this. Not sure if WWE have actually set this up in the best, most sort of impactful way. I think if they're drawing, we do like long-term story planning, or long-term planning in general, which is something that we haven't really got from WWE that much in 2011 and maybe even 2012. We don't even know. It depends if Vince McMahon's still going to carry on doing rewrites. But if this is a long-term plan, then, and it is going somewhere, then we're all for it. But it's just that for the initial pop, for the initial Raw, which got really hyped up for it, it just seemed lackluster. The whole segment done. Do you have any further thoughts on this whole Jericho return? Now we've analysed it and looked at different avenues and different perspectives.
Well, in the past, Jericho's been playing great heel, so obviously to see him come back, give us the heel feeling. We do have something to look forward to. We just got to see how they build his character up between now and whenever they're going to stop with this whole build.
Yeah, because we know Jericho wants to be. He doesn't want to be what he used to be. He wants to be a unique character, and he did seem to me like this whole rock and roll character. The coat he had was brilliant. The smile was a very kind of I mean, you can do the smile, can't you? Like, ha 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 ha! I am Jericho. I'm the best. I'm the best in the world. So really, like I said, it just depends on your own personal perspective. We've said our views on here. We've looked at all different avenues here. So now we just want to, all different avenues, all different floors as well. By the way, we're doing it. So don't be fooled by the hat, guys. I'm still Mr. Parkin, of course. If you have any thoughts or anything on this rather long-winded video, yet philosophical video, I would say, get your thoughts in that comment section below. We want to hear what you thought of Jericho's return, where you think it will lead. Do you think WWE did this well? Did you like it? Did you think it made the impact that all the build really said it would? That's what we want from you guys. We want to know your thoughts. We can give all our thoughts as much as we want, but if we don't get feedback from you guys, then we don't have any other opinions.
Because that is the big question, because obviously Jericho's return has all left us, because it's something we're all looking forward to, because the video package did awesomely. Now we just need to know what your thoughts, because as we've said, with YouTube, there's been different views back and forth, yes, no, just share your thoughts.
Yeah, indeed, and we'll also post our Raw review down below as well if you want our initial reaction, which was one of disappointment, might I add. But we have since wisened up. Hindsight's a great thing, isn't it? When we can look back at something and look at all the different arguments and stuff. So I'll just say this: get your thoughts down below, guys, and we'll see where this goes. I mean, we'll be watching Raw next week. We'll be seeing what happens, and I'm generally interested in what Jericho's going to be doing, despite the fact that the initial impact wasn't as big as I thought it would be, as impactful as I thought it would be.
With Jericho coming back, being a main event on Raw, anything could happen now.
Yeah. Okay then. So that's really been it from us, the British Fist. I am Mr. Parkin, as you guys well know, wearing a cap. Especially for this video, and even though the Christmas decorations are down, we still have our shining star right here on the top of the tree with the one and only NJ.
What's up?
Thank you very much for watching, guys. Have a happy new year from the British Fist.
Until next time, people, make sure you subscribe above, comment in the comment section below, and that has been it from the British Fist. Goodbye.